KILR Killer Game.
Hello, gamers and simmers and pilots. I am the Killer Gamer, and welcome to the world tour of Flight Simulator 2 for the Commodore 64. And we are in Scenery Disc number 9, which covers the Chicago area and Cincinnati and St. Louis. And we're in the Chicago area, not Chicago, but we're in the outskirts and stuff. So sectional, I guess you could say. It's a big section. But where are we flying to? Well, we're at Cedar Rapids Municipal. And where are we going? We're going to Waterloo. Grand Rapids, here we are. Waterloo. Right up here. So if we fly the runway heading of 33, that should take us straight there. We can tune in to Waterloo, just to give us an idea of how far away it is. And not only that, but let's see here. We have an ATIS. 120.65. It's got fuel, and these are the runways, but there's no ILS. Hello. Hello, how are you? Hello. All right, 120.65. Be interesting to see if we can pick that up. So let's get our radios tuned in. Let's see if 120.6. We're on 120.65. Look at that. We're not close enough. All right, Cedar Rapids 117.60. We are on that on nav 1. We want to be that on nav 2. And there it is. Okay. Fly runway heading. Probably. Oh, I don't know why I'm setting this up, but I guess that's okay. We'll say 33. 3300 or 330. Heading away. Or do we? No, maybe I want to cross. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. All right. Show you here. We're not going to use the Cedar Rapids here. I'm going to tune into Dubuque here to the 270 radio. That will give us kind of an idea of how close we're getting to the airport when we cross it. That's kind of an idea of what I was thinking there. All right. So nav 2. Of course, we'll have the DME, assumingly. It's not like we really need that, but for the Dubuque, but you know. 115.8, I think is what that says. Yep, it's moving. We'll set Waterloo 112.2. 12. We are 50 miles away. And well, I guess we'll set a runway, I don't know, a vector of 010, 014. Trying to line up with the north runway. Okay. Oh, I think we are set. Let's get started. Let's take a look at our radar. Okay. This is the runway that we're going to want to take off from. We're going to want to go this direction here. So we're going to turn around. We'll zoom in here. It gets awfully confusing trying to see it in 3D, so make use of our tools. Taking our helicopter here. The last part of it. Look at that. Straight. That's pretty much what it looks like. Doesn't quite look like we're straight in center, but according to the top map, we are. So let us head on out. Right on the runway, we're not moving off. So we just stick right here. Looks like we're gonna fly right off though. We are gonna fly right off. Well, we were on the runway. How did we get off? I don't know. Come on. we were straight on there, and somehow we slid off the runway. Gotta love it. Oh, come on now. Whoa. Gotta be careful with those climbs. You don't want to stall the aircraft. Because this aircraft is unforgiving. Wow. Meow. What's the altitude at Waterloo? Waterloo. 872. Alright, so we're kind of like in this upper area. See if we can level out here around 3,000. I never try to fly like high up, like 10,000 or something like that, unless you're trying to do aerobatics or something, because why fly like up at 10,000 feet? It's not like there's no reason to in this one, with the exception of cross country. When you do cross country, you need to plan ahead and fly a certain altitude, because otherwise, I mean, you won't see the terrain change. It'll look just like this. The only difference is that one moment you'll be sitting here at 3,000, and the next moment it'll say, it'll be like 7,000 or something, but you will have run into like so all the computer's going to know is, oh, you're in an area where the ground level is at 7,000. Oh, look, you're at 3. Crash. Alrighty, well, since we have about 40 miles, let us go back to our flight physics and aircraft control book. And today we are going to talk about the Bernoulli Controversy. As late as the mid-1960s, many flight instructors were emphasizing Bernoulli's law as the major contributor to lift theory. This concept does go a long way in explaining lift when looking just at airflow immediately adjacent to the wing. Bernoulli's law, however, doesn't explain the forces of airflow deflected by the wing. Indeed, most modern instructors give credit to Newton for explaining the majority of lift production. So this figure 5 is Bernoulli's explanation of life. I think that's supposed to say lift, but it says life. That's great. Yeah, a little bit of a typo, but alright, so this is the explanation of lift. But take a look. Where is it? Right there. Bernoulli's explanation of life. Well, at least we know what explanation of life is all about. Newton's third law states that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So figure 6 is a repeat of figure 5, which labels changed to emphasize action-reaction theory. So that's pretty much this. That freaked out the computer. No, we just have more scenery loading. That's all it is. So probably can't read that. Probably hard to read. But it's lift force in reaction to downwash force and downwash force vector. Alright, so downwash is caused by the airfoil altering the direction of airflow downwards. This will occur as long as there is a positive angle of attack. Downwash is easy to understand no matter what shape the airfoil takes. In this age, when fighter jets use thin, symmetrical airfoils, you can see why deflected air is considered to be the major contributor to lift. Check our altimeter, gyro compass. And we'll do one more section here. Controlling lift. As a pilot, you must learn how to control lift during takeoff, climbs, level flight, turns, descents, and landing. Okay, this will be useful. You can generally increase lift in two ways. Increase your airspeed or increase your angle of attack. Given a constant angle of attack, an increase in airspeed increases pressure differential and downwash, and therefore increases lift. Given a constant airspeed, an increased AA, angle of attack, I believe, increases pressure differential and downwash, thereby increasing lift. As a pilot, you must manage both airspeed and angle of attack in order to gain the desired flight goals. A good example would be an airspeed transition from fast cruise flight to slower flight when entering a crowded airport traffic pattern. You reduce power and the aircraft decelerates. Since the weight of your aircraft is unchanged, you must produce constant lift during the deceleration. In order to produce constant lift, you must increase the angle of attack slowly until the aircraft is stable at its new slower speed. We can take a look at that at figure 7, where it's airflow separation with increasing angle of attack. So the top one here is a low angle of attack, and then the middle is medium, and then the bottom one is a high. I'm sure just by flying you can figure that out. And That is our flight physics lesson for today. Don't you feel educated? I'm getting use out of this. I have not read that thing since I was 13 years old. We're gonna go back through it every single page. Every single page. Now the question is, how many people are actually going to watch these videos? I have no idea. Maybe quite a few. Maybe there'll be interest. I already know where my CD-ROM is at, but I managed to find my actual box for Flight Simulator 2000. The actual full box. Look at this thing. LGR would be like so happy to get a box. He loves boxes. It's another YouTuber. He's reviews games and stuff. Lazy Game Reviewer is his full thing. Great guy. So it like opens up the simulation of choice for pilots and serious aviation enthusiasts. See? Don't take my word for it. The simulation of choice for pilots and serious aviation enthusiasts. Flight Simulator 2000. Professional Edition by Microsoft. What was this when this first came out? It was like $80 or something. And like between this and the regular edition, I'm like no, I want the one that's got more scenery and stuff. So yeah, I got the Professional Edition. And I played it a little. I didn't really play it a lot because I had some life events going on at the time, and it's just how things go. And so then Flight Simulator 2002, nope, didn't get it. I have it now. Got it to complete my collection, and obviously using it now for the World Tour series, but didn't get it back then. But I did get 2004, and that was just like gold to me. That was like everything that I wanted in a simulator. And I didn't get FSX when it first came out because I remember people complaining about how it wasn't working very good on machines, and you had to have like some supercomputer for it to work and all this other stuff. And my computer wasn't really up to the specs, and it wasn't until later that I got it. It was like after acceleration that I got it. And I wasn't even sure if my computer was going to be... I still wasn't sure if it was going to work. It actually worked. It worked just fine. So... But 2004 still works decently, I think. I still enjoy it to this day. If it wasn't for this World Tour series, I wouldn't be playing it. I would just be doing FSX and X-Plane. But doing the World Tour series and playing FS9, Flight Simulator 2004, it brings back the fun memories I had with it. So, does anyone know anything about the Mega Scenery USA 2005? Anyone know about these? These are for FS9, since we're on that subject. I've been collecting these. This one here is 2004. This one here is 2004. How many of these did they come out with? So Volume 1 is Southern California. Volume 2... I forget what Volume 2 is. I got Volume 2 coming in the mail. Is it the Pacific Northwest? Or is that Volume 4? I can't remember. Volume 3 is Northern California. And then there's the Pacific Northwest. I've got that one coming in the mail. Mid-Atlantic. That's got like Washington, D.C. and the areas around there. That's Volume 6. What's Volume 5? I'm not sure. Then they got the mega cities. And I've got 2 of them here. I got San Francisco and I got Denver. I've got Phoenix coming, Dallas, and Atlanta. What else? Does anyone know what else? What else was released for the 2004? What else was released for Flight Simulator 2004? Do you know, for Mega Scenery? Because I want to use these for FS9 for some of those areas to kind of give FS9 just a little bit of a punch. In some areas. Because 2002 looks pretty similar to 2004. But there's really not a whole lot of decent scenery enhancements for 2002 like there is for 2004. So I figured maybe some of the mega scenery, and these things were cheap. They were like $5-10. The Mid-Atlantic one I found for $1, brand new, from PC Aviator that actually does it. It was a hidden web page or something. I managed to get it for $1. Yeah, just wondering what else that they've released. I did manage to find Pacific Northwest by Mega Scenery on a series called USA 98, which is for Flight Simulator 98. So it's got some photoreal scenery for Flight Simulator 98. So I just managed to get that. So that'll be coming. So I'll be using that for Flight Simulator 98 when we get into that area of Seattle. That should look pretty good. That'll give Flight Simulator 98 a nice little punch. Nice 1-2 punch. Pow-pow. $20 miles from the airport. It is going to be out here in the middle of nowhere. but we will trust our instruments. We're heading to it. We've got this lined up with one of the runways. Double check and see what those runways were again. 6. Runway 6. 24. Okay. So if they have a runway 6, then we should probably change for number 1 to 6. That's not a 6. That's not a 6. Oh, it's okay. That's right. It's the VASIs. It's got the VASIs. Runway 6 has got that. All right, I am not worried about that. The only thing I want to do is just line up with a runway and land. I don't need it to be any more complicated than that. Oh. Whoa! We got some movement. I saw some movement here. This will be interesting. The direction we're facing doesn't have a river anywhere near it. But trust our instruments. Hit my flaps, didn't mean to. See some black over here, which indicates that there is a city of some kind over here. So we must be in the right area. What's this over here? That's a road. Okay. Oh, 13 miles away. On the map, it didn't show any type of river next to Waterloo, but I'm glad to see that there's water here, because there should be some type of water next to Waterloo, right? Well, we're definitely close. ATIS is just tuned in. Departing runway 6. And there's our airport right in front of us. It probably would not take much effort to move over to runway 6, but oh, let's see. Flaps. Let's slow down. I remember going into the settings and changing the wind direction just to see if I could get the runway to change. I just changed the wind direction and see if that changes the runway. Or see exactly how it changes. Like, okay, if the wind is blowing this way, what runway does it give me? Okay. 7 miles away, and we're 3,000 up, so we need to definitely start decreasing our altitude. So here's the city of Waterloo, with a stream of water going through it. 6 miles from the airport. Runways over here. Let's take a look at our radar. Be interesting if you compare that shape and see if it's somewhat similar to like the real thing. Miles. Oh my. Another last thing of flaps here. There's our runway. We're not too badly lined up. Add some power back here. Zoom in a little bit more. Nope, we can't see the runways yet. I got to keep an eye on my instruments as I'm looking at my radar, make sure that I am not gonna crash somewhere. Alright, I see something. Okay, that should be good enough. We should be able to line up from here or come close to it. like bouncing on the ground here. It's like, look at that. It's like we were lined up and then we kind of... Oh man, it's so frustrating. It's like you get lined up and then it takes you off. It's really frustrating. All right. Let's find out here. We are... Oh, we got some taxiways. They're kind of lined out. Like how it's like, what kind of taxiway is this? It's a little triangle thing here. It's like it's drawn, but then it looks kind of odd when it gets over up in this area. I guess you just need to assume that it's connected somehow over here. Can we find the fuel box? Somehow I don't think so. Doop 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 doop. We're taxiing to the gate. What gate? That's a good question. It's over here somewhere. Huh. Well, it says there's a fuel box here, but I don't see one. There should be a block here somewhere. You know, like a box. But definitely not seeing a box, which is okay. We just go to our edit menu and come out and it will fill everything up. Alright, so here we are. We're at Waterloo Municipal. And, well, appreciate you joining me on this flight. And As always, be sure to check out this same flight on the other simulators. Other than that, I will see you on the next retro flight with the Commodore 64. See you later. And if you had fun watching this flight, then you might enjoy watching the same flight on one of these other simulators. It's a great way to compare the difference between them, but it's also a nice way to relive some old memories, or make some new ones. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around in the wild blue yonder.